If you can just start by painting a picture of how expensive it is right now to travel if people are leaving Canada.
Good morning. Prices for flights have certainly increased over the past year and a half. And although when the traffic was starting to pick up in the summer, airlines try to entice passengers with low prices, we're no longer seeing that. At the same time, we are seeing also problems with passenger loads and with sufficient traffic and sufficient crew members. Airlines are complaining that they don't have adequate crew members. As a result, they are canceling flights, which is a vicious circle because then people are less willing to fly. People feel less confident in the airline's ability to perform the service that they are contracted for. And that also adversely affects traffic. The Canadian airlines have also been taking a hit from their own behavior by the travel voucher and refund controversy, where airlines failed to refund passengers for flights that passengers paid for, but then couldn't take place because of the pandemic. So as it stands currently, I don't blame anyone who chooses not to fly on a Canadian airline.
Any update on those refunds or any complaints going forward? Are people actually finding themselves successful in getting their money back if they canceled?
Air Canada received a substantial subsidy from taxpayers' money in the form of a loan, but really, I would like to see how that loan is being paid back. And Air Canada actually was refusing to refund passengers until the government and essentially taxpayers agreed to cover the bill. WestJet is very slow at refunding some people. With Sunwing, we are still seeing some problems. Just recently reported by Sean O'Shea is an example of that. So we have serious problems, and nothing in terms of the systemic problem has been addressed. So if tomorrow an airline is deciding to want to refund passengers, the system, which is supposed to enforce compliance with the law, is broken. The laws are there. There's no question that airlines have to refund passengers, but there's no firm enforcement procedure in place that it actually works. Passengers have been quite successful through statutory chargeback, through consumer protection laws that can force the bank to reverse charges. It's different than just calling the bank and reversing and disputing the charges, a more written process. But there are still people who don't have their refunds. There are people who have been waiting for months for their refunds. There are people who are being promised for refunds, for example, by Air Transat, and are not receiving those. So if I have to travel now, I would try to avoid Canadian Airlines to the extent I can.
Gabor, you mentioned that you don't blame anyone for not wanting to hop on a plane right now. Are we seeing a really significant impact? Are you hearing that a lot of people are skipping their travel plans because of this?
I can well see people being disinclined to travel because of the current situation, in part because of the pandemic, health concerns, and also in part because of the unreliability of the airlines. I can also see people in Canada choosing to perhaps drive to the US if they can and fly out from a US airport, where the US Department of Transportation has been quite firm in enforcing consumer rights and ensuring that people get their refunds. So I have a lot of sympathy to other sectors within the travel industry, but when it comes to Canadian Airlines, to a great extent, they are suffering from self-inflicted wounds.
Not that we have a crystal ball here, but before we let you go, are we expecting this to continue? Could those prices go down anytime soon?
What Canada would need is more competition on the one hand and clear enforcement of consumer protection on the other hand. Once passengers know that their rights will be properly protected, there will be more appetite to actually travel. Also, once we have more competition, possibly foreign airlines that already fly into Canada could fly also operate flights within Canada, then the prices would come down, no question about that.